Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Creative Hands by Shay. So in today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to make a simple, easy Granny Stitch Polo Shirt. So guys, if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you will love this tutorial and you will be able to make one of your own. So to my regular viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for always being here, guys. So I will be making this tutorial as precise as I can be. So I hope that you'll be able to make one of your own and in whatever color that you want to make it in. So guys, also I am asking you, please go ahead, subscribe, like my videos, and also share them. So if you're new here and if you like what you see, you can go ahead, subscribe, and also share my videos as well. So in today's tutorial, I will be showing you step by step how to put the shirt together, and this is the yarn that I will be using, and this one here is 100% bamboo fiber. I have never used this yarn before. This is my first attempt of trying to use this yarn. My overall opinion on this yarn is that it is really nice. It is very soft, and it it it's nice to work with. The only thing that I don't like about it is that it retracts. So if you're making whatever you're making, you always have to do more. So you will chain more instead of doing less. So I will show you what I'm talking about because I did make one of my panels. So it is it states here that it's 100% bamboo fiber, and the amount here is 50 gram. So it has quite a lot on each skein, so it's not bad. So I will let you know how many skein that I used to make this shirt also in the description, so make sure you check the description box down below. I will be putting all information there. So you will need your 3.5mm crochet hook, you will need your scissors, you will need darning needle, and also your measuring tape. Much important. And you also need some stitch markers too. So I'm gonna show you what I am talking about. So this is one of the panel that I work on already. I love the way how it feels. The texture is really nice. You can see it there. And the only problem is that I don't like the fact that it retracts when you are making. So for this one, I did 19.5 inches. So if you should see, when I started at the bottom here, it's showing me 19.5, I should say 19.5 inches. So starting from the bottom, 19.5 inches. Then once I start to work up on my panel, it went down to 18, or almost just over 18 inches. So I don't like the fact that it does that, but if you're gonna use the same yarn, you will have to chain extra chains so that this does not happen to you. But it does stretch quite a lot, so I don't think it will have a problem in fitting me. I'm making this for myself, so I think it should be fine. But I would recommend, if you're using this, if you want to use the same yarn, please do make extra rows so that it does not retract too much. So I am going to show you how to start your rows. So I'm just going to do like a swatch. So I'm not going to chain up all that I did before. So to begin, what you will do is you will make your slip knot, and you're going to chain in multiples of 4. So you're going to yarn over and make some chains. So I'm just going to continue making some chains, and then I will be with you just big enough so that you can see. So for this one that I did, I chain 120. So whatever size that you're doing for, you're going to chain to up to that amount, and then you're going to add 5 more chains afterwards. So I will be back with you once I am at my amount that I need here. So guys, I did a total of 36 chains here. So that is good enough. So as I told you, you should chain in multiples of 4. So whatever you chain, you will divide that by 4, and if you get an even number, you are good. So I did, as I told you, I did 120, and with that 120, I got an even number of 30 when I divide that by 4, and then I add 5. So you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now that you have chained your 5, you are going to count 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th stitch, you're going to yarn over and you're going to place 1 double crochet. So that those chains that we just skipped just now, those 3 chains, is going to count as your first double crochet. You're going to yarn over, going to the next stitch, and you're going to place 1 more double crochet. And that is going to be our first cluster of 3 double crochets. Now you're going to chain 1, skip 1, going to the next, and you're going to place 1 double crochet. 1, going to the next stitch, you're going to place another double crochet. The hardest part about doing this shirt is just doing the foundation. Everything else is quite easy. Now that you have done another cluster, you're going to chain 1, skip 1, going to the next, and you're going to make 1 double crochet in the next 3 chains. So you will repeat this all the way until you get to the end, and I'll meet you there. There it is. Repeat the same thing, and I'll see you at the end. So guys, and now I am down to my last 4 stitches here, and I'm just going to chain my 1, skip 1, and then make my last 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So now we have completed our foundation, and that is the best part about doing this. Once you complete your foundation, it's gonna be super easy afterwards. So now you are going to go ahead, chain up 4, turn your work, yarn over, go into the chain 1 space, and then you're going to place 3 sets of double crochet. Chain 1, going to the next chain 1 space, and repeat the same thing. So you're going to repeat this all the way until you get to the end, and I'll see you there. Remember to chain your 1. So there it is. Guys, and now I have come to the end, and now I'm going to chain my 1, and I have my cluster of 3 here. So what you can do is you can either go on top of your last double crochet, or you can go inside of that stitch. I just normally go inside because it's more easier for me. So I just go inside just like that. But if you want to go on top of the stitch, you can do so. And there it is, row 2 completed. So now you are going to chain 3, turn your work, and now you're going to put only 2 double crochet in this stitch. So this is going to be a 2-row repeat kind of thing, and you're just going to basically repeat row 2 and row 3 until you get to your desired length. So I'm chaining 1 there, go over in my next chain 1 space and do my cluster. Repeat this all the way until you get to the end, and I'll see you there. So there it is. Guys, and now I have come to the end there, and this is what it looks like. And just as we did before back in row 2, we're just going to repeat the same thing by chaining up 4. And repeat that all the way until you get to the end by placing your cluster of double crochets into each chain 1 space. So there's my first cluster. So I have my chain up 4, turn my work, and then I did my first cluster, my chain 1 space. Always remember to chain 1. So I will be putting on the screen information on how to do your measurements and so on. So guys, if you hear me say something that I'm not supposed to say, I'll correct myself on the screen so that you don't think that I'm doing something stupid or something. So I will see you at the end once I am done making my next panel. So as I told you, I already did my back panel, and I will put it on the screen how many rows that I did and the length of what it is. So if that works for you, you can go ahead and do so. Do the same thing that I am doing. But for whatever rows that you're doing, you will measure from your shoulder length to your next shoulder length with your measuring tape, and whatever inches that you get, you will make chains to match up to that amount. So I will see you at the end of making my next panel. But for my next panel will be my front panel, so I will not be working the entire way up because we will be working on the polar section of the front of the shirt. So I will meet back with you. Guys, now I have come to the end of making my front panel here, and I stop at 48 rows because we will be working the shoulder strap part here. So I did a total of 67 rows for the back panel. So the remainder rows I will be working up on each side here to match with the back. So what I did was to stop on one of the rows where I have the chain up 4 here, instead of stopping on the row that have the cluster on each end. So if I stop on the row that has the cluster at each end, I will have technically an odd number. I will have 31 clusters here, but I don't want to have that, so I stop at a row that has this chain up 4 here. So I count from here, go all the way in, and I have 15. So I put my stitch marker here, and from here to here is 15 clusters. So I just count this part as a cluster as well. So once you get your middle, you'll put your stitch marker there, and you'll have 2 clusters into the middle. So for whatever size that you're doing, you will do the same, just to count from this end all the way in to find the center of your work. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to work up about 11 rows up, and then after the 11 rows working straight up, then we're gonna do some decrease rows to finish off. So I will show you how to do that. So now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna chain up your 3 and make your cluster. Chain 1, repeat this all the way until you get to the stitch marker by making your clusters, making sure that you make your chain 1 after each cluster. So I will see you at the end. So guys, now I have come to where we have our stitch marker here, and we're just gonna place our last cluster there. Chain up 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn. Yarn over, go into the next chain 1 space and place your cluster. And you're just basically going to repeat this all the way until you get to 11 rows, I should say, and I will meet back with you. So I will put it on the screen, the measurement of what the 11 rows is, so you can know. So you will just continue to do this all the way. When you get to the end, you will just do your last double crochet, chain up 4, and then double crochet clusters into the chain 1 space all the way back. So repeat that all the way until you get to 11 row, and I'll see you at the end. Guys, now I have come to the end of making my 11th row here, and I'm just going to do the measurements. So measuring from the first row to the end here, it is measuring 3.5 inches. So now we are going to work on our decrease row. So I'm just going to finish off my double crochet here, chain up 1, 2, and 3. So because I am going to be doing a decrease, let me just chain 4. So chain 4, and we're going to turn our work. So now that we turn our work here, we're not going to work into this stitch. We're going to yarn over and we're going to go into the second one. So 1, 2, and 3. So there. So we did not work into this stitch. We chain our 4 and then we start our double crochet cluster here into the second chain 1 space. You're gonna work your way all the way to the end. Once you get to the end, you repeat the same thing. Chain 4 and then work your way all the way back to here. Once you get back to here, I'll meet back with you. So I'll show you how to do your next decrease. So I'll see you at the end. Guys, now I have come back to the end here, and we're not going to work into this space. What we're going to do is we are going to make a double crochet on top of this cluster double crochet, chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn your work. So we're not going to work into this space. Normally we would work in this space when we turn. Now we are going to go over into the next chain 1 space and we're going to do our clusters. So repeat your clusters all the way over to the end. Once you get to the end here, you will finish off with your double crochet, then chain up 4 and then continue working again until you get back to here, and I'll meet you there. Guys, now we have come back to where we're decreasing again, and you are just going to go ahead and make a double crochet on top of that double crochet, chain up 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn your work. So we're not going to work into this space. We're going to yarn over and go over to the next chain 1 space, and you're basically going to continue doing this until you get to 8 rows. So remember, you're just making up the rows to match back with your back panel. So I am doing 8 more rows to match up with mine. So this will be my 5th row, I believe, of increase on this part here. So let me see. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so this is my 5th row. So we're doing 8 more rows. So depending on what size you're making, it depends how many rows you will have to work. So I will see you at the end. Just continue to repeat this. Once you work, go down this end and come back. Remember, you're not going to work into this stitch. You're just going to double crochet on top of the cluster, last double crochet cluster here. And I'm going to continue to repeat it until I get to the end, and then I will meet you there. And the same thing that you do on this side, you will do it on the other side as well. So I'll see you at the end. So guys, now I have come to the end, and I'm just going to chain 1 and place my last double crochet here. And that finishes off. So I'm just going to chain 1 and fasten off. And that finishes off one side of the decrease of our shirt. So there it is. So it goes up and then goes slant. Up and then slant. So now we are going to join our yarn on the next side here. So just as we did on this side, as I stated before, you're going to repeat the same thing on this side. So I am just going to start here. Just going to give it a chain 1, chain 2 more, 1 and 2, yarn over, go back into that same space, place 2 more double crochet to complete your cluster. So we did 11 rows of just working straight across, and then 8 rows of slant. So you're just gonna repeat the same thing. You can feel free to rewind the video if you'd like, if you don't remember what to do, and then you can complete yours. So I'm just going to continue doing this until I get to the end, and I'll meet back with you. So now I have come to the end of making my straight rows on this side. So now I am going to work on the slant rows now. So I did 11 rows up. So I'm just going to fasten off from here. So chain 1 and fasten off. Then I'm going to rejoin my yarn on this side. So I'm going to go on top of our first double crochet. Chain 1 and give it a tie. Oh, my chain 1 just got pulled out. Let me just redo that. Come on. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and chain up 1, 2, and 3, and then yarn over and go over into, so I'm not gonna work into this space, so I'm gonna work into the other one here. So that's our first row of decrease. So continue to chain 1 going to the next space and make your clusters all the way until you get to the end. You will place 1 double crochet here and just repeat, come back. Once you get back here, you repeat the same step that we did here. You will not work into this stitch here, but you will add a double crochet on top of here once you get to the end. So I'm gonna do it and come back and show you how to do it again. Guys, and now I have come back to where we did our decrease there, and we're just I have my chain 1 there already, so we're gonna make a double crochet here. Chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn your work. You're not gonna work in this space. You're gonna go over to the next space and place your cluster of 3 double crochet. So again, repeat this until you get to the length that you're supposed to be. So remember, I am doing 8 rows of decrease. I did 11 rows of just regular clusters across. Now I'm doing 8 rows of decrease. So if it's the same exact size that you're making as I am making, you will do the same exact thing. Well, basically any size that you're making, you will do the exact same thing, but it's just your number is going to be different. So I will see you at the end of doing my decrease, and I will start joining my other panel to this one and working into the center and the collar and the sleeves. So I'll see you at the end, guys. And now I have come to the end of making the other side of the front panel. So now I am gonna go ahead, I have my chain 1, and I'm gonna make my last double crochet on top of this last double crochet here. So that's my last decrease. And this is what the shirt looks like so far. So you are going to get your back panel, and you're going to place your back panel together with your front panel. I went ahead and I put my stitch marker, and I already measure how many inches for the arm area here. So I did 8 inches, and I did 8 inches on the other side as well. So this is what it looks like. So far everything is inclined, and the bottom part here. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of fastening off here, I am just gonna start sewing from this end, go all the way to this end here. When I fasten off here, I will go ahead, rejoin my yarn, and I will sew this part as well. So let me just show you what I will be doing. So I'll insert my hook here. You can use a needle and thread to do this part, but I am just gonna use my hook, chain 1, and then turn. And into each and every stitch, you're just gonna place a slip stitch. Okay, I don't want to mess up my stitches here. Let me take my time. Okay, now I'm there. And now where I have my chain 1, I'm just gonna go under, and I'm gonna do a single crochet. And then with the other stitches, I am just gonna do a double crochet, a slip stitch. Sorry about that. So slip stitch all the way over. Once you get to the chain 1 space, you will do a single crochet. So I'll repeat that until I get to the end, fasten up, and then repeat the same thing on the other side. Now I have come to the end of sewing up my panel here. So you can see how nicely sewed that is. And on the other side as well. There it is. So I went ahead and I made one of the sleeve, and this is what it looks like so far. And I did this little ribbon for the end. So I will show you how to do that. But before I go to the sleeve, I want to make the inner flap part here. So I am just gonna get me a smaller size hook so I can go into this double crochet here. I want the stitch to look as neat as possible. So now I'm gonna rejoin my yarn. You can remove a stitch marker because we don't need it anymore. Okay, now you're gonna chain 1, give it a tie. And I'm just gonna use back my 3.5 hook. So now you are going to make 2 double crochet into that space. So 1 and 2, and you can work over your tail end. So into each double crochet or chain up, you're going to place 2 single crochet, and you're going to repeat this all the way until you get to exactly this last cluster here, and I will meet you back there. So here, and I'll meet you here. Guys, now I have come to the end, so I'm just going to place my next and I'm going to put 3 single crochet here just to finish off. Instead of putting 2, I'm putting 3. Now I'm going to chain 1, turn, go into your first single crochet and you're going to place a single crochet. It's 1, 2, 3. So continue making single crochet all the way down. Once you get down to the end, you will chain 1, turn your work again, and repeat the same thing. And I'm gonna do a total of about 4 to 5 rows. So I'll see what it looks like, and I will let you know how many rows that I do. And the same thing that you do on this side, you will repeat the same thing on the other side as well. So I'll see you at the end. Guys, now I have come to the end of making my row, and I did a total of 5 rows for the flap here. And we're just gonna leave a little tail end so we can have this to sew. So make sure you leave it on both sides. So for my other side, my yarn actually finished. So I'm just gonna chain 1 here and pull through. My yarn finished here, so I don't have any tail end for the other side. So I'm gonna have to rejoin the yarn. So I'm just gonna chain 1 here. And this is what it looks like. It's kind of curling, but once I get my my steam iron, it will lay nice and flat. So what you're gonna do is you are going to get your darning needle, this is good enough. I don't want to waste my yarn. I only have 1 skein remaining. Okay, so you are going to pinch your work over. So this is the right side, and you're going to pinch it over so that it goes on the left side. So I'm just going to go into this stitch here. And you're just going to basically do some in and out sewing. Just try your best to sew it so it does not come apart. So I am just going to continue doing this all the way until I get to the end here. Then I'll fasten off, and then I will do the same for this one, but I will show you how to finish off this part here. So I'll meet back with you. Guys, now I've come to the end of sewing on this flap here, and I just take off my needle, and this is what it looks like on the right side. So now for this flap here, we are going to place it just like this. So it's kind of kissing on the other one, just like that. Let me just open it so you can see better. So when you're sewing this flap, you are going to sew it just over the other one so that it makes like a little V. So you're gonna start just like about 2 rows over, and then do some in and out sewing right across, so that when it opens like this. Okay, so I'm gonna go into this stitch here. Just like that. So I'm just going to basically continue to do this, and I will see you once I am done sewing this down. So you're going to sew right across to here and fasten off. And now I have come to the end of sewing down the flap here, and this is what it looks like so far. So there it is. So now we are going to work on the color. So I'm just going to use my smaller hook just to get into the edge here. I'm going to attach my yarn, and I'm going to make some single crochets all the way around. I'm just give a chain 1 and give it a tie. And again, you can weave in your tail end as you go along. So I'm going to use this just to go across here, and then I will change back to my hook that I was using before. I just want this stitch to look very neat, so that's the reason why I'm doing this. So you're basically just going into each and every row. Okay, now I am gonna use my regular hook. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go into this little space here and place my single crochet, and into where I have my single crochet, my chain up 4 there, I am just gonna place 3 single crochet. So wherever you have these stitches that requires 4 single crochet, you will just put 4 there. And if it does look like you can just add 2, you can just add 2 in there, because you don't want to put too much stitch. So that's 1, 2, and I can put 3 in this one because this one is a chain 4 as well. And I'm weaving. So guys, I had to pause the video just now. I was just coughing like crazy. So I'm just gonna basically continue to do this, making 3 double crochet where I have my chain 4 there, and where you have your double crochet, you will just do, well, I only have chain 4s here, so into this space you will just put 2 stitch there, and put 2 stitch here, then you will put 1 here, and into where you have the double crochets you will just place 1 single crochet. Into the chain 1 space you will place 1 single crochet, so you will single crochet all the way around, come back to the end here. Once you come back to the end, you will chain 1 and single crochet again all the way around. So you're just basically going to continue doing that until you get to the desired width of what you want the collar to be. So I am just going to repeat this all the way until I get to the end, and I'll let you know how many rows that I will be doing. So I'll see you at the end. So guys, and now I have come to the end. I just wanted to show you again. So I am chaining 1 there, turning my work, and then start all over again by doing my single crochets. So each time you finish your row, you will just chain 1 and then continue to do single crochets all the way around, and again until you get to your desired amount of rows for the collar. Once I am done making this, then we will move on to the sleeve. So continue to do this and I'll see you at the end. Go all the way around until you get back to here, chain 1, go back all over again, repeat the same thing. Guys, and now I have come to the end. I made my last stitch there. Now I'm going to chain 1 and fasten off. So before you fasten off, you can check to see if this collar is good enough for you. So this is what it looks like. So when I fold it over like this, and once you put it down, this is what it's gonna look like in the opening area. So I think it looks super cute. I love the way how it looks so far. So I'm just gonna go ahead, fasten off from here. And I'll weave this in later on. So now I'm gonna show you how to work on the sleeve. So for this collar here, it is measured 2 inches. I was just gonna say 4. I'm not sure where that came from. So it is measured 2 inches in length. So again, if you want it to be longer, you can go ahead and add more rows. So now working on the right side for the sleeve here, you are going to go into, so you're going to go into this stitch here. So the chain up that is there. So make sure you're working on the left side. So there's 2 spaces into the joining, so one on this side, one on this side. So we're going to work on the one on the left. We're going to start our clusters there. Now chain up 2 more, go back into that same space and place 2 more double crochets. Chain 1 and into each spaces around. So each of these spaces, make sure you're looking at what I am doing. You're going to put three double crochet. You're going to make a cluster of 3 double crochet. Once you get to where we have the join in here at the top, you will make your cluster here on this side and chain 1, cluster on the other side. Repeat it all the way around until you get back to the end where you will place your last cluster here. So I'll meet you there. Guys, now I have come to the end here, so I just made my last cluster, and now I am going to slip stitch on top of my double crochet there. So now that I have slip stitch, I'm going to go ahead and chain 1, 2, 3, turn, so each time you finish a row, you will turn your work. Now that you turn your work, you're going to place 2 more double crochet into this space here, chain 1, going to the next space and make your cluster. So you're just going to basically repeat this all the way around until you get back to the end. Once you get back to here, you're going to finish off in this cluster, and then you are just going to go ahead and slip stitch and then chain up again and repeat the same thing. So the same thing that you do on this sleeve, you will repeat the same thing on the other sleeve as well until you get to a total of 10 rows. Once you get there, I'll meet back with you and I'll show you what to do next. So just continue to do this. Remember to remember to turn your row each time you finish your rows. So I'll see you at the end. Now I have come to the end of my last row, which is my 10th row, and I'm just gonna go ahead and slip stitch, chain 1, 2, and turn. So this is what the sleeve looks like so far. This is the opening. So now what we're going to do is we are going to place 1 double crochet into each and every stitch and also the chain 1 space. So I am going to go ahead and place my first double crochet here into on top of the double crochets cluster. You're going to place 3 double crochet there. So that's 1, 2, and 3. In a chain 1 space, you are going to place another double crochet, and you're going to repeat this all the way around. So if you want to change your hook size to a size 3, you can do so that the opening of the sleeve can be a little bit closer as to how I did this part here on the other side. So you can use a size 3 hook if you want this part to be more tighter. So I did work with my double crochets all the way around using my size 3.5, and on my second row I did use my size 3 hook. So that's what I'm going to repeat on this sleeve as well. So I'm going to continue doing this and I'll see you at. So guys, now I have come to the end of my last stitch there, and I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch, chain up 2, and just as I told you before, I am changing to my size 3 hook because that's what I did on the other sleeve. And we will be doing front post and back post double crochet. So you will insert your hook from the front and pull up that stitch and make a front post double crochet. For the next stitch, you will make a back post, so you will go in from the back and make your back post double crochet, front, and a back post. Repeat this all the way around and I'll see you at the end. Guys, now I have come to the end and I'm just gonna go ahead and slip stitch, and we're gonna do one more row of front post and back post double crochet. So you're gonna chain up 2 and yarn over, go where you have your front post, you will do a front post. Where you have your back post, you will do a back post double crochet, and repeat this all the way around until you get to the end. So I'll see you there. So guys, now I have come to the end of my last stitch here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and fasten off. I'm gonna get my darning needle and weave in my tail end. So we're gonna go through both loops on this double crochet here and into the back loop on the other side, and that gives it a nice clean finish. You can go ahead and weave in the remainder tail end. Make sure that it is not showing on the right side. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave that for now. So there is the sleeve. Now I am going to work on the bottom of the shirt. So our shirt is pretty much done. I'm just going to work on the tail end here, and I'm just going to start from this part here. So I'm going to try and go into the center of where we join. And attach the yarn, give it a tie, and then you can weave in the tail end as you go along. You're going to chain up 1 and 2, yarn over, and you're going to go into that first stitch, and you are going to make a double crochet there. Into the next, you're going to do another double crochet into the chain 1 space, double crochet. So just as we did with the sleeve, we're just going to make double crochet all the way around, and once you get back to the end, you will do front post and back post double crochet. So you're just repeating the same exact step as what we did with the sleeve. So I am just going to continue doing this, and once I get back to the end, I will just start my front post and back post double crochet, and I am going to do 2 rows, or probably 1 row. I will let you know once I am there, once I am finished. I'll put it also on the screen so you can follow along and you will know how many rows that I did. So I will see you at the end. So guys, now I have come to my last stitch, and I did a total of 2 rows of front post and back post double crochet, just as I did on the sleeve here. So now I am just going to go ahead and fasten off, And this is what I actually have left back from my skein, so it did not disappoint me. I actually had enough to finish this shirt. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and weave in my tail end. So if you have any tail ends to weave in, you can go ahead and do so. So just as I showed you before, 2 loops here on this side, and then in the back loop on the other side to give it a nice clean finish. So there it is. Now I'm just going to go ahead and finish weaving in the tail ends here. Okay, so now I'm going to fasten off. And again, our shirt is now completed. So guys, this is what our shirt looked like so far. It is looking super cute. I really love the way how this turned out. So you can see the color there. And I went ahead and I steam iron the color so that it can lay nice and flat. So if you have one of those handheld steam iron, that is great to do your blocking on your work. So there it is looking super cute. And this is the sleeve here. So there's the bottom of what we just worked on. So I am just gonna do the measurement so you can see how much it measures, but I will be putting in the description of the width and all of that. So it is measuring 18 inches in width, and this is like a large size because I wear a large shirt, and it is really stretchy. So if you're using the same yarn, you can follow the same exact step if you're making the same size as I am making. Or if you want to make it bigger, then you know that you'd have to just adjust your amount of stitches that you do. So guys, thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and I will see you in the next one. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and tell me what you think in the comment section. Thanks again for watching, guys. Until next time, bye.